all $57,000 profit we made in 7 days were trackable back to the email campaigns which I wrote for my clients. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you the emails I've written so that you can replicate this for your own coaching business. Now, before we go into it, this is what Russell Brunson said. One email contact should be worth $1 per month. So it's likely that you have a list of tens to hundreds of thousands of email leads right now on your back end, but you're not correctly monetizing them. And that's why we're going to break this down in this video. I personally love scaling info businesses to anywhere between 100K to $1 million a month with 60 to 80% plus profit margins. One of my favorite deliverables is emails because I love copywriting. It's an amazing way to monetize and share lots of value with your audience, but you have to win their trust first. So as you can see, 57K, 40K from Stripe, and it says 27K, but that was taken back from like a month before. It should only be like 17K from when we actually launched this campaign. So 51K of this came from a $597 core offer which we launched, and then the downsell offer for $97 gave the remaining 6K, and all of these sales were made from email. So again, if you are a BizOp creator or if you are any other type of coaching business, to be honest, you need to maximize your email list. You need to find a method for releasing content onto social media, collecting high intent email leads, even if they haven't paid you anything, right? So if you gave a lead magnet away for free, you collected their email, you need to find a predictable way of turning them into high ticket clients and doing this predictably. Again, this is what we're going to go through. So we made a $57,000 from 545 leads. That's $104 roughly per lead on the email list. Now, of course, we done a waitlist drop, so we had 545 people on the waitlist. Now, of course, not everyone on the waitlist bought. I think we had like a 15.8% conversion rate from total waitlist leads onto those who bought our core offer, not even including. So we had 87 sales by the 597 core offer, and we had 61 sales by the downsell of $97 offer. So that's a much higher percentage conversion rate on the waitlist. But that's $104 per lead that we've done from this waitlist. So what I'm going to go through is going to show you the data I was tracking as the launch was going on, including how many people cumulatively were joining the waitlist, the emails I sent throughout the entire launch, which happened over 8 days, and then also the cumulative cash we were collecting, which was all profit because we've done an organic launch as the days went on. And then afterwards, I'm going to go and actually show you 4 of the emails I've written. And then I can't give you everything because this is what we do for clients on our Done For You partnership. But I've given enough source, don't worry. We'll go into it. So yeah, let's go into it. Now, the first one, the cumulative number of people joining the waitlist. Now, our waitlist was open over 2 weeks and 2 days. It was only meant to be 14 days, but the reason I extended it by 2 days is because, as you can see, and I was tracking this day by day, as the days were going on, we still had people joining the waitlist. And so I thought, why not just leave it open for 2 more days? And then after that, close the waitlist, get the launch ready. So on day one of letting the social media know through my clients, reels and stories, there's a specific way we've done it, that we're launching this new offer. Join up. So we had 78 people sign up on the first day. And then as you can see, the next day we had 47 people, the following day 64, then 36, then 12, then 38, then 77 people. And people were just joining. And in the end, we had 545 people join this waitlist. Now, I want to be very clear. This 545 people, they put their hands up and they said, I'm willing to give you my name, my email, and phone number in exchange for being on the waitlist to joining this new offer. So these people were qualified leads that we got in. Of course, we were getting thousands of views, right? Through the content, so much engagement, so many people viewing the stories and the reels, but this like 545 people were qualified. Okay, so that's how many people we had on the waitlist. And of course, throughout the entire waitlist, also this is before we were sending the emails, we had a very specific Instagram mechanism by which we were pulling people onto the waitlist. And it's not as simple as posting something on your story or using a ManyChat automation telling people to comment something down below and then basically growing your waitlist leads. There was another very high level type of system that we used. So what I've not shown, and I'm not showing in this video, is as soon as people would opt in to the waitlist, they would automatically be sent a freebie. And then there would be a series of free emails being sent 24 hours later. And I basically wrote these emails beforehand, set up the automation. So as soon as people join the waitlist on our backend CRM, we tagged them as a waitlist lead. And then I had an email campaign that would basically get triggered as soon as a tag of waitlist was added to a lead. So this way, as soon as someone joined the waitlist, they would get a series of emails going over 3 to 4 days, right? The first one is a welcome email, reminds them of the day of the program when it's launching, to be excited for it, creating some buzz, giving them the free resources. And then the 3 days later, we basically broke down my client's story, why he even does free diving, which was the offer we launched, by the way, a free diving coaching offer, and a few more things as well. So all of these people received that flow. Now, when we done the launch over 8 days. Now, this was the number of emails I sent across the day. So as you can see, on day one, I sent 2 emails, day two, 1 email, day three, 1 email, day four, 1 email. And then as we got towards the end of the launch, I sent a shit ton of emails, right? And you might be thinking, well, that's too many emails on day eight. What, 6 emails? Open rates dropping, deliverability is probably really bad. But I'll break down why that's not actually a problem. And of course, the day before the program, I sent an email, just reminding them that the drop is happening tomorrow. Get ready, basically. And like I said, before you see like all of these emails you see, before this, as soon as someone would join the waitlist, they already received 3 to 4 emails, basically nurturing them up. And just to make things clear, early access was how we basically positioned this launch. This is an early access drop because our plan was as soon as this launch finishes, we're going to open up a few more spots to people who weren't on the waitlist and opening up through Instagram. So my client, his only traffic source was Instagram. I wish he had some form of TikTok or YouTube as well. That meant we would have had a shit ton more leads and a shit ton more sales. But he only had Instagram. But the funny thing is, we ended up not launching through Instagram because we had too many people join this offer, which is a good problem to have because we were limiting it at 50 spots, but then we realized we can actually fulfill a bit more as the launch was going on. So in the end, we opened up more spots. Our cap was 100. We weren't going to go above 100, and we got 87 sales on this core offer. So early access drop, and as you can see, we're going to go through what I've written in some of these days as well. And then this was the cumulative cash collected. So we launched on Friday, 10 a.m. GMT time zone. And basically, I was just tracking day by day how many sales we're getting. So look at this, guys. 46 sales on the first day, and we had a total of 87 sales from this core offer. And again, this 51K I'm tracking is just the core offer, not the downsell low ticket offer. Okay. So more than half of the sales came on the first day of us launching this brand new offer, which is very interesting. Depending on the launch you do, sometimes you'll get you'll get 25% on the first day, 50% in the middle block, and then the final 25% on the final day. But this is it. As you can see, as the launch went on, we're getting lots of sales. The next day we had 10 sales more, then 5 more sales, and 2 more sales, then 10 sales, then 2 sales, and then we extended it by 1 more day. So the drop was only meant to be 7 days. The reason I extended it by 1 day, the eighth day, is again to give a limited time discount to basically give those people a final opportunity of putting their foot forward and taking ownership in basically changing their life with freediving. This is your final shot, basically, and I will never do this again, type of thing. So that's where you open it, and then we had like 1 sale on the final day. So going into it, let's go into the first email. Let me actually move this a bit to the side. So this is the exact email I sent the day before the drop was happening. So the subject line was RE, 50 spots open tomorrow, 10 a.m. GMT. And then you can have a read of this email as well. So, hey, first name. So the reason we have the first name inside brackets is because when we had people joining the waitlist, when they submit the form, they give their first name, email, phone number. And so in your CRM, because you can tag these leads, when you send an email, you can use the name they put on the form, basically. So, hey, first name. So my name is Ramez. So, hey, Ramez, tomorrow is the day you've been waiting for. At 10 a.m. GMT tomorrow, only 50 spots will open for my static apnea group coaching program. For those that don't do freediving, I certainly don't. I'm from London. I've never heard of the sport before. We don't really play in the ocean type of thing. We love like football and stuff like that. But static apnea is a discipline of freediving. Freediving is a sport. And by the way, my client here, he is the freediving world champion. So static apnea is basically when you hold your breath underwater for as long as possible. It might sound crazy to you watching this video, but it's an actual sport, and you shouldn't do it, by the way. There's like so many things that could go wrong. Just be very careful. Don't even do it. But the way you can think about it, like in terms of football, is you have 7 aside, 11 aside, 5 aside, and you can imagine that those are different types of games that you should be playing. And so static apnea is, again, one form of discipline of freediving. So if you're one of those 50 people, you will get a free one-on-one coaching call with me, bonus one. You will also get 33% off the usual full price of the program, bonus two. So keep an eye out on my email tomorrow, 10 a.m. GMT time zone, and secure your spot before the 50 spots close. And then the PS line basically saying, like, I'm excited to welcome you on this journey. Now, as you can see, it's a very simple email. Anyone can write this email. The whole point, intention of this email is to give them the exact time, the date, and basically give some like urgency and scarcity. Like you're like only 50 spots, you get a 33% discount, and you also get a free one-on-one coaching call. My whole thing here is to keep it as simple and as short as possible. Now, the reason we were giving a free one-on-one coaching call is because this would give us the opportunity, once the student comes to the call, once they've paid us 597, we can then use that opportunity to upsell them on a higher ticket back end offer for thousands of dollars. Okay. And also with freediving, the way my client does it, he has cohorts of students. So when we had these 87 sales, he would have a group of 10 students, another group of another 10 students, another group of another 10 students, and he would base which group someone enters based on their experience with freediving and their location, so where they are in the world because of time zone. You want to have a group call that works with everyone in the group. But we framed it as a free one-on-one coaching call because that's what we had to actually figure out for each client, but also so we had an opportunity to upsell them. So in terms of the 33% off, again, who wouldn't like a discount when it comes to programs like this? So that's because we were launching this at 597, and when we were going to take it to Instagram, it would have been $897. So yeah, 33% off. And again, just a very simple email. That was the subject line. So the second email, let me just move this a bit to the side. So the subject line was RE program now open, 50 spots only. So now this is when we actually done the drop at 10 a.m. GMT the following day. This was the exact email. So hey, first name, the wait is finally over. 50 exclusive spots are now open for the static apnea group coaching program. Click this link to secure your spot inside the program. This was a hyperlink to the actual landing page which I built, and basically pre-frames the prospect's mind a bit more, handles objections, so shows case studies. There was a VSL in there as well, very short VSL. And the button was like basically taking them direct to cart, pay 597 basically. All details are found inside this link. Only 50 spots available, secure before it's too late. And then PS line, reply to this email with just join after you sign up so you can schedule your free one-to-one coaching call with me. Now, there are two reasons why I wrote this PS line. And yeah, again, I wrote all of these emails, which is why I've done really well. It's one of my strength points. I love copywriting. So essentially, the reason I've done this is because when you're sending the same email, well, the only variable is their first name, but sending it to over 500 people, even if you're sending to tens, hundreds of thousands of people, the domain of your email can get hurt, which means that if your domain starts to get hurt, if your email account starts to get hurt, your emails will start to land in spam rather than the primary tab of the person's inbox. So you need to make sure that email deliverability is as best as it can be. One way to optimize deliverability is get people to respond to your email, because your service provider, the email provider, like let's say Gmail, they will look at the algorithm like, okay, this person, wow, again, okay, we back. But that happens every video for some reason. Anyways, going back to it. So the email provider will basically see the algorithm as this person has sent a shit ton of emails to 500 people, but he's getting responses or she's getting responses. So like, this isn't spam. This is real. So your deliverability will be completely fine. But also because we had someone there who would basically schedule the call and basically get back to the prospect really quick as soon as they respond and invite them to the program basically. So that was two reasons why we've done it. So again, this was the day when we launched it, and this was the first email of the first day of launching. We sent a second email, I'll show you in a second. Again, very simple. And then this was the second email we sent on day one. Now again, when I'm showing you this, guys, you don't need to copy it word by word. I want you understanding the principle behind it. So keep emails very short and simple where it needs to be. Create some buzz around the time and when it's dropping. And then as the launch goes on, as we did in the second email of day one, you want to start going a bit deeper. Okay, let's go into this. So the subject line is, wow, 28 spots already taken. Okay, so when you're reading this and you were thinking about investing in a program, like when you read this, you're thinking, holy shit, I've got to get into this program ASAP. 28 spots have been taken. And I sent this 5 hours in. So, hey, first name, wow, it's only been 5 hours. And the reason I wrote this is because whenever you receive an email and people typically receive it on their phones, you will see the first line. So that's why I wanted to build a bit of curiosity. Second line, we've already got 28 people join the program. I'm so excited because this is the biggest freediving program I've built my entire life, and then credibility stacking. After 12 years of coaching 5,000 freedivers online, everything is inside this program. Only 27 spots remain, and the offer will never be the same ever again. Okay, so when people are reading this, like, holy shit, so many people have joined already. Like the client's name, like this is the biggest thing he's ever done with freediving. And bearing in mind, his entire personal brand is to do with freediving, right? So he's got like a cult-like audience. He's had over a decade of experience coaching thousands of people, and everything is inside this program. Everything over the past decade of coaching has come down to this program, and it's nearly completely full. So only 27 spots remain, and this offer will never be the same. And then obviously at this point, because they've clicked the link, they've gone through their landing page, they've seen the offer. Now I can obviously just write the offer price in the email. Your investment today, $597 for 6 months of high level group coaching. Investment for the public when the offer ends is $897 for 3 months of coaching. So this means you're getting 3 months extra coaching, right? Because it's 6 months and then 3 months for the group, for the public launch at a $600 discount. Do you know what I mean? So offer closing on X, and then I gave the date, and will never come back. So secure your chance before it's too late, and then the final hyperlink for them to click and to join. So as you can see, as the first day went on, you want to build some FOMO. You want to make them know that you're missing out, and like this is what it is. You want to be a bit more direct as well. And then the final email I wanted to show you was the email we sent on day 2. Okay, so here we went into a case study, and I don't see coaches doing this right. I think people overcomplicate emails. They overcomplicate the subject line, overcomplicate where to write things. But maybe it's just a skill. I don't know. Maybe it is. And so in this case, the subject line was meet James from 4:22 to 7:46 breath hold in 4 months. So for context, my client has a breath hold of basically over 10 minutes, and every minute, if you hold your breath longer underwater, please don't. I'm just explaining students, okay, student results. It gets difficult. Like there's another level you have to learn. So this student, James, he went from 4 minutes 22 seconds underwater to 7 minutes 46 seconds underwater, breath holding in 4 months. Yeah, crazy to me. How long could I hold my breath underwater? I don't know. Never. Freediving is not for me. So hey, first name. So what I'm doing here is I'm sharing a strong student result. And the reason I'm using this specific result, because it's bang on in the middle. You've got students who have 1 to 2 minutes breath hold who are in the wait list, and you have students who are upwards of like 7, 8 minutes, but those are rare. The bigger group of people are in the middle. If you think about a normal distribution curve, sorry guys, I'm an ex-medic. I completed medical school and I decided to leave the doctor's route. That's how my brain works. But if you imagine a normal distribution curve, search it up right now. The middle is where the whole shebang was, yeah? So people doing like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes breath hold. So that's why I'm using this case study. So I wanted to share a quick but inspiring story about James, one of my students. So when you're reading this opening line, and you'll see this is a very long email that I've written, very long email. But what I've realized copywriting the past few years and building funnels and all sorts of like scaling in for businesses, right? One thing I've realized is if you can hook them, whether that's through an Instagram story, through an email copy, through an ad, if you can hook them in those first 3 seconds, they will go to the very end of whatever that piece is, whether that's a content piece, a creative, or an email copy. Okay. So this is why like the subject line hooks your attention, and they're thinking, holy shit, this is what I want to achieve. Then it's like, oh, I want to share a story, and then I basically wrote this email to break down the beliefs or objections that this audience has of freedivers. So before our one-on-one coaching, James couldn't go past 4 minutes 22 seconds breath hold, and his ultimate goal was to reach 7 minutes 30 seconds. Why was James stuck at 4:22? His biggest problem was failing to delay his contractions, chest and belly using the correct method. And no, it wasn't because James was training his CO2 tolerance incorrectly. And no, it wasn't because James was struggling to remain mentally focused during the dive. It was because James failed to understand his own physiological response to static apnea. So again, what I've done here, because we have very correctly mapped out my client's ICP at the start of our partnership. So that means having a document of everything about the ICP nailed down, because someone like me, a growth partner who knows nothing about freediving, is able to make this print. My client was making $5,000 a month for like 5 years on average, And then I came in, a person who's never done freediving before, literally found out about freediving the second I, started working with my client here, and I made him his annual salary in 7 days. How can a non-freediver do that? It's because you need to understand your market. It's a marketing thing. It's a business thing. It's not a knowledge thing. You know what I mean? So I knew that his biggest, like, usually freedivers think this is their problem, or this is their problem, or this is their problem. That's what they think. But I'm saying, no, it wasn't because of this. You're not thinking right. I said it's because he failed to understand his own physiological response to static apnea. Because freedivers, they copy all of their training and the way they train from online, basically, or from like freediving books, from very general advice. And so, what I said, unfortunately, this is a common mistake 95% of freedivers make. So, after creating a specific freediving plan for James, perfect for his mind and body, James shattered his goal and achieved a 7 minute 46 seconds breath hold. So, bearing in mind, when I said specific freediving plan, I didn't mention what the actual plan was. I didn't give specifics. I kept it super simple. We didn't do this, this, and that, but we done something else, and then James shattered his goal and achieved a 7 minute 46 seconds breath hold. And this is how I've successfully coached 5,000 freedivers over the past 12 years. Click this link to join the program. Hyperlink, I quickly spot where you're going wrong and what you need to change. Everything from pre-dive techniques, contraction techniques, mental focus, nutrition, gym. So giving a bit of information, but not actually helping them put the puzzle together. And this is why I started the Static Apnea Group Coaching Program. So watching generic YouTube videos or buying self-paced freediving courses will no longer help you. So if you're ready to master your freediving in 2025, this is when we've done the launch, and become the best version of yourself, you can either do it yourself using generic online resources, which won't guarantee you progression, or you can join my program, which will give you very specific tips you need. I guarantee you will achieve massive progress in your breath hold every week for the next 6 months. Now, you watching this video, you selling your coaching offer, you might not be able to give a guarantee like this. Depends what you're doing, but my client, he is insanely talented at freediving. And when we actually launched, his clients, like the people who actually joined this offer, the 87 students, they had like an insane progression in their results. It was crazy. So he can say this. And this isn't a money back guarantee type of thing. This is just a verbal guarantee. Like, I'm so confident I can help you. Just join, basically. And yeah, this is how 60 of my students have become national champions. So just like, right, insane proof. Good news, 7 spots still remain, 43 spots have already gone. In 6 days, the current offer will end and the price will increase to 897. Secure your chance before it's too late. I'm excited to welcome you. If you have any questions about the program, send me an email and I'll get back to you. The reason I wrote this is because maybe at this point, people who are ready to buy, who haven't bought yet, they've got objections in their head. They need someone to speak to. So I basically told them, any questions, come back. And so, again, that was the emails on the first 2 days. And that's the full one I'm going to have to show you. I can't show you anything more in depth because that's what we do for clients, and this is just exclusive material. But I can show you what I've basically the broad idea of the next 3, 4, 5, like day 3, day 4, day 5. But then after that, I'll leave it there. So day 3, I talked about my client's story. So one very powerful way is talking about what the client done today. So if you're a trader, today maybe you've done a trade and you made a shit ton of money, or maybe you lost a lot of money, whatever it was, or something specific to your business that you've done today. So I use that story and then I built a personal connection by having an image in the email as well of my client basically training because he does freediving as well. And I basically in the email wrote about how his current training was going because at the time the World Championships were going on with freediving, which he was participating in. And so I thought that was a perfect day to write a personal story because you want them to connect with the person more. So do something like that for your offer. Day 4, I talked about how a student of his became Indonesian national champion literally on that day at the World Championships. Again, credibility stacking, showing a case study, like becoming national champion of Indonesia is crazy. And being the client's student is crazy as well. So you can become very creative and keep flexible with how you share your results, how you write your emails. But the foundational principle is get them to know, like, and trust you through a personal connection. Show some transparency with what you're doing. So if you're teaching trading, show what you're doing trading wise, whatever offer you're selling. Or if you're, for example, a relationship coach, show how your relationship is going, what you've done today to improve your relationship, yeah, whatever it is. And also case studies, yeah. Again, find your way of doing it for your specific niche. The messaging has to fit them directly. Day 5, literally send an email answering the 5 frequently asked questions people have about the program. That's it. Literally just an email answering 5 FAQs about a new offer. Like they perform really well. You need to do this as well. So that being said, email is like 5% of the things I do for the partners I have. So when scaling info coaching businesses to 6, 7 figures per month with 60 to 80% profit margins, I don't just do email. I do everything A to Z. So you can focus all of your efforts on just recording content and coaching your clients and making sure on the back end, if you have CSMs, head coaches, that they're also operating as well. And we can scale further. Literally absolutely everything from making sure you have your ICP dialed in, making sure your content is positioned and is framing yourself as the highest authority in the space and attracts the exact type of buyers you want, typically high ticket buyers, those who can afford a high ticket service, making sure we have a predictable system for acquiring that traffic, attracting them, putting them into a scalable, predictable funnel, and then taking care of the sales process afterwards, whether it's a D2C funnel or sales call funnel, webinar funnel, whatever it is, and then basically cash collecting and scaling month on month, making sure that you can live your life as well outside of your coaching business, but making sure you're running a real business. So if that's you, if you want me to scale your business like that, then you can book in a 50-minute call with me down below. The link is in the description below. This is my Instagram. Feel free to drop me a message as well if that helped. So yes, we covered how we profited 57K in 7 days from email sales alone on the D2C funnel. I've given you a view on how we typically do it and why you should definitely get this started. If you have tens to hundreds of thousands of email leads, or even if you don't, you can build that list and get this started now and sort of pick my brains on how we made this happen. So yeah, if this is you, you want me to scale your business, book in a call with me down below and I'll speak to you very soon.